The chief negotiator for 6 world powers is disappointed by Iran's stance at nuclear talks. Hello, I'm Reggie Aki. Thanks for joining us here on CNN's World Report. We're beginning with this latest round of talks on Iran's nuclear program. They just wound up in Turkey, and they're being called disappointing, at least according to the person representing 6 nations. Let's go right to Ivan Watson in Istanbul with the story. Ivan, when we talked last, we talked about how low the bar was set for these negotiations, and it sounds like they didn't even make that bar.
That's right. That's a fair way to describe it. Catherine Ashton is the head of foreign policy for the European Union. And, Reggie, she was representing 6 countries, the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council and Germany in these talks. And she said that their side came forward to Iran with a number of concrete proposals, including trying to resuscitate a nuclear swap deal to provide fuel for Tehran's research reactor. And then she used very undiplomatic language to say that she was very disappointed at the Iranian position and at the outcome of the talks. Take a listen to what she had to say.
This is not the conclusion I had hoped for. We had hoped to embark on a discussion of practical ways forward and have made every effort to make that happen. I'm disappointed to say that this has not been possible. The E3+3 reaffirmed their continued commitment to pursuing a diplomatic solution. We expect Iran to demonstrate a pragmatic attitude and to respond positively to our openness towards dialogue and negotiations.
Now, Reggie, Ms. Ashton went on to say that the Iranian delegation had come forward at the start of the negotiations with 2 preconditions. One addressing, demanding, as she says, full acceptance of a full nuclear fuel cycle. And the second, the lifting of sanctions. The UN Security Council recently imposed a 4th round of sanctions against Iran. Now, we just heard from the top nuclear negotiator from Iran, Saeed Jalili. He's been giving a press conference here just moments ago, and he came out and said that it was very important to begin any dialogue for there to be some kind of logic and respect between nations, and he was arguing that Iran has not been receiving that respect. Take a listen to what he just had to say.
Who gave Israel nuclear arms? Has anyone looked into that? Or perhaps it needs not to be explained. Is that so? And there are thousands of centers. There are certain sanctions that are imposed. Why is it that they're not doing anything for Israel when they're doing it for other power plants? And this is one of the most important subjects that we have to cooperate on.
So, Reggie, what you basically have is Iran's delegation arguing that the nations from the UN Security Council, they are basically ganging up on Iran while allowing countries like Israel to go ahead and have nuclear weapons. One of the other complaints that we heard, he said that just last year, 2 Iranian nuclear scientists were murdered in Tehran, and he said, how come the United Nations Security Council is not coming in and talking about that? He called that a fiasco. But there is one fact here, and that is Iran is facing unity from 6 countries, including China and Russia, that have traditionally been closer to the Iranian position and now seem to be siding on this nuclear issue with arch-rival the United States and Great Britain. Reggie?
It's an interesting development. We should point out that Iran is part of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and Israel isn't. So another difference between those 2 nations. Ivan Watson has been monitoring all of that from Turkey for us. Ivan, thank you.